Life will test you. Not once, not politely, not when you feel ready. It will test your patience, your confidence, your strength, your identity. And most men break long before life reaches its full weight, not because they are weak by nature, but because they never built themselves to endure pressure. They built comfort, they built distraction, they built image, but they never built resilience. Stoicism begins with one brutal truth. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control who you become because of it. Marcus Aurelius did not live in peaceful times. He ruled during war, plague, betrayal, and political chaos. Yet his private writings were not filled with panic. They were filled with reminders. Reminders to stay steady. Reminders to stay disciplined. Reminders to stay in control of himself. He understood something most men ignore. Life doesn't break you. Your lack of preparation does. If you want to become unbreakable, you must build strength in 4 dimensions: mental, emotional, physical, and moral. Let's start where everything begins. Mental strength. Your mind interprets reality. 2 men can face the same hardship and walk away with completely different futures. One says, "This ruined me." The other says, "This refined me." The event is the same. The interpretation is different. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." Most men never question their interpretation. A setback happens. They label it failure that a rejection happens. They label it humiliation that a mistake happens. They label it proof of inadequacy, and those labels weaken them. Mental strength begins with refusing to exaggerate suffering. Pain is real, but the story you attach to it is optional. When something goes wrong, ask, what is within my control here? That question shifts your focus instantly. You stop spiraling. You start acting. The weak mind seeks comfort. It avoids discomfort at all costs. IT avoids difficult conversations. IT avoids accountability. But avoidance builds fragility. The Stoic mind seeks clarity. It faces truth even when uncomfortable. IT examines mistakes without self-pity. IT accepts reality without dramatizing it. Mental strength is not pretending things don't hurt. It's refusing to let hurt define you. Now let's move deeper. Emotional strength. Many men confuse emotional suppression with strength. They think feeling nothing makes them powerful. It doesn't. It makes them disconnected. True emotional strength is regulation. It is feeling anger without exploding, feeling disappointment without collapsing, feeling fear without retreating. Marcus Aurelius wrote reminders about encountering rude and selfish people. Not to complain, but to prepare. Preparation reduces shock. If you expect life to be smooth, you will constantly feel attacked by reality. If you expect life to be challenging, you remain steady when it proves you right. Emotional fragility shows up in small moments. Losing your temper in traffic, taking criticism personally, needing constant validation. These are not major disasters, but repeated daily, they weaken your foundation. Every uncontrolled reaction chips away at self-respect. Every controlled response builds it. When someone insults you, you have 2 options: react and escalate, or remain composed and observe. The first option feels powerful in the moment. The second option builds real power over time. If you are easily provoked, you are easily controlled. If you are stable, you are difficult to manipulate. Emotional strength is quiet. It does not seek attention. It shows up in restraint. Now consider physical strength. Your body is your instrument. If it is neglected, your discipline weakens. If you avoid physical challenge, you avoid mental growth. The Stoics valued endurance. They did not worship comfort. Comfort creates softness. Challenge creates durability. When you train your body consistently, you are doing more than building muscle. You are reinforcing identity. You are telling yourself, I do hard things. I keep promises. I show up even when I don't feel like it. That identity bleeds into every other area. Physical weakness often mirrors mental avoidance. The man who quits workouts easily often quits goals easily. The man who pushes through physical discomfort builds confidence transferable to life. You do not need extreme training. You need consistency. Strength training, cold exposure, endurance work. Each small act of voluntary discomfort builds resilience. Now we reach the final dimension, in this foundation. Moral strength. This is the one most men ignore. You can be mentally sharp, emotionally controlled, physically strong, and still collapse morally. Moral strength is integrity. It is doing what is right when no one is watching. It is refusing shortcuts that compromise character. It is staying aligned with values even when pressured. Life tests your morals quietly. Small lies, small compromises, small rationalizations. They won't notice. It's not a big deal. Everyone does it. Character erodes gradually, and once trust in yourself or from others is broken, rebuilding it is painful. Stoicism teaches virtue above all. Wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. Without these, strength becomes dangerous. With them, strength becomes stable. Build your mind, build your emotions, build your body, build your character. Life will still hit you, but you won't shatter. You'll absorb impact. And this is only the beginning, because strength is not built in comfort. It is forged in resistance. Resistance is the forge. Steel is not born strong. That it is heated, hammered, and shaped under pressure. The same is true for you. If you avoid resistance, you avoid growth. Most men unknowingly design their lives around comfort. They avoid difficult conversations. They avoid disciplined routines. They avoid responsibility. They avoid risk. Then they wonder why small problems feel overwhelming. You cannot pray for strength while running from challenge. Stoicism does not teach you to escape hardship. It teaches you to use it. Marcus Aurelius faced war and plague, yet he saw obstacles as opportunities to practice virtue. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the mindset shift that builds unbreakable men. When something blocks you, you have two options: complain or adapt. Complaining feels relieving in the moment, but it builds weakness. Adapting builds capacity. Capacity is everything. The more pressure you can carry without collapsing, the more life you can handle. And life does not get lighter as you grow. It gets heavier. More responsibility, more expectations, more stakes. If you are not building capacity now, future success will crush you. This is why many men self-sabotage when they finally get opportunities. They have not built internal strength to sustain external growth. Let's talk about adversity. Adversity reveals you. When everything is smooth, anyone can appear strong. But when stress hits, your true level of preparation shows. Do you panic? Do you blame? Do you retreat? Or do you assess, adjust, and move forward? The difference lies in habits practiced before the crisis. You cannot build discipline in the middle of chaos. You build it daily, quietly. That's why small voluntary challenges matter. Cold showers, strict routines, controlled spending, difficult workouts. These are not random acts of self-punishment. They are training sessions. When you willingly endure discomfort, you reduce your fear of it. And fear is what breaks most men. Not pain, fear pain. Epictetus taught that suffering comes not from events, but from our judgment of them. If you label discomfort as unbearable, you weaken yourself. If you label it as training, you strengthen yourself. Language shapes resilience. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," say, "This is building me." Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" say, "What is this teaching me?" This is not delusion. It is discipline and interpretation. Now, let's address something critical. Building yourself strong does not mean isolating yourself emotionally. It means becoming dependable. When you are mentally stable, emotionally regulated, physically disciplined, and morally grounded, you become someone others can rely on, and that creates meaning. Many men feel lost because they lack responsibility. Responsibility forces growth. When people depend on you, weakness becomes expensive. If your family depends on your stability, you cannot afford emotional outbursts. If your team depends on your leadership, you cannot afford indecision. If your future depends on your savings, you cannot afford impulsive spending. Responsibility sharpens discipline. This is why Stoicism emphasizes duty. You are not just building strength for yourself. You are building it so you can carry more without collapsing. Now consider this. Life does not test you at your strongest moments. It tests you when you are tired, when you are disappointed, when you are tempted, when you are frustrated. That is when character is revealed. A man who is only disciplined when motivated is fragile. A man who is disciplined when exhausted is powerful. You must train consistency. Consistency builds trust with yourself, and self-trust builds confidence. When you know you will act correctly even under pressure, fear decreases. Why? Because you trust your response. Confidence is not arrogance. It is certainty in your discipline. Now ask yourself, if a major crisis hit your life tomorrow, would you bend or break? Would your mind spiral? Would your emotions explode? Would your habits collapse? Or would you steady yourself and respond deliberately? That answer reflects your preparation. Strength is not loud. It is not flexing online. IT is not pretending to be unaffected. It is composure in chaos. It is clarity in confusion. It is stability in uncertainty. And it is built long before it is needed. Now here is the deeper truth. Life will not stop testing you once you become stronger. It will simply increase the weight. But if you keep building capacity, you will keep adapting. Unbreakable does not mean unhurt. It means unshattered. You may feel pain, but you will not collapse. You may face loss, but you will not lose yourself. You may encounter failure, but you will not quit your identity. This is what Stoicism ultimately offers. Inner architecture so solid that external storms cannot destroy it. But architecture requires blueprint, and we haven't discussed the final piece yet. Purpose. Without purpose, strength feels empty, and in the next part, we'll build that foundation. Strength without purpose turns into hardness, and hardness without direction becomes isolation. If you build yourself strong but have nothing meaningful to stand for, life will still feel empty. Stoicism is not about becoming emotionally numb. It is about becoming aligned. Purpose is alignment between your values and your actions. Marcus Aurelius did not endure hardship simply to prove toughness. He endured because he believed it was his duty to serve Rome well. Duty anchored him. Without duty, pain feels pointless. With duty, pain becomes sacrifice, and sacrifice builds depth. Many men feel fragile not because they lack ability, but because they lack direction. When you wake up without a clear reason to endure discomfort, discipline feels unnecessary. But when you know what you are building toward, discipline becomes non-negotiable. Ask yourself, who depends on me? What am I responsible for? What kind of man do I want to be remembered as? Purpose transforms inconvenience into investment. Working late is no longer suffering. It is provision. Training hard is no longer punishment. It is preparation. Saving money is no longer restriction. It is security. Facing fears is no longer discomfort. It is growth. Without purpose, obstacles feel random. With purpose, obstacles feel meaningful. Epictetus spoke often about playing your role well in the grand play of life. You do not control the script, but you control how you perform your part. That is dignity. You may not control your starting point, but you control your standards. And standards shape identity. The man who decides, I do not lie, strengthens his moral core. The man who decides, I do not quit, strengthens his mental core. The man who decides, I do not react impulsively, strengthens his emotional core. These standards must be chosen deliberately. If you drift through life without defined standards, your environment will define them for you. An environment rarely encourages strength. It encourages comfort. It encourages distraction. It encourages comparison. But comparison weakens focus. You are not here to compete with every man. You are here to refine yourself. Stoicism teaches internal measurement. Am I better than yesterday? Did I respond better today? Did I act according to my values? That is progress. Now, let's talk about identity under pressure. Purpose does not eliminate difficulty. It magnifies responsibility. When you commit to becoming unbreakable, life will test that commitment, not to punish you, but to confirm you. If you say you value integrity, you will be tempted to compromise. If you say you value discipline, you will face laziness. If you say you value patience, you will face provocation. These tests are not interruptions. They are proving grounds. And each time you pass, your identity strengthens. But each time you fail and excuse it, your identity weakens. This is why reflection is essential. Marcus Aurelius journaled not to impress others, but to correct himself. He reviewed his actions. You must do the same. Every night, ask, where did I hold firm? Where did I bend unnecessarily? What triggered weakness? How will I respond better next time? This daily audit prevents slow decay. Because strength lost gradually often goes unnoticed until crisis reveals it. Now understand something important. Being unbreakable does not mean never needing help. It means not collapsing when help is delayed. It means not abandoning your values when pressure increases. It means not betraying your standards when emotions rise. Strength is stability over time, not intensity in moments. Many men can be strong for a week. Few can be steady for years. Longevity is strength. Consistency is strength. Integrity under repetition is strength. And that requires patience. The world glorifies sudden success. Stoicism glorifies sustained character. You may not see dramatic change immediately, but daily discipline reshapes you slowly. Your posture changes. Your speech becomes calmer. Your decisions become clearer. Your reactions become measured. Others may not know what changed, but they will sense it. You become someone who absorbs impact. And when life hits, because it will, you will not disintegrate. You will adjust. You will learn. You will continue. Now we must address the final piece. How do you maintain this strength when motivation fades? Because motivation always fades. And in the final part, we'll anchor your strength beyond emotion. Motivation is unreliable. It rises when things feel new. It fades when things feel repetitive. If your strength depends on motivation, it will disappear the moment life becomes ordinary. Stoicism does not rely on emotion. It relies on principle. Principle remains when excitement disappears. This is how you build strength that lasts. You decide who you are before the moment tests you. You decide your standards before temptation appears. You decide your values before pressure increases. Then you act according to them, regardless of how you feel. Feelings fluctuate. Standards do not. The man who waits to feel ready rarely grows. The man who acts because it is his duty grows consistently. Duty is stronger than emotion. When you wake up tired, duty moves you. When you're frustrated, duty restrains you. When you are tempted, duty reminds you. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about doing what nature requires of you, not what comfort desires. He understood that discipline is not punishment. It is alignment with responsibility. Now imagine your life 10 years from now. Two versions. In the first, you chose comfort repeatedly. You avoided hard conversations. You quit difficult routines. You escaped into distraction. You compromised your standards. Nothing catastrophic happened at once, but slowly weakness accumulated. Confidence declined. Respect decreased. Stability eroded. In the second version, you chose discipline repeatedly. You paused before reacting. You trained when tired. You saved instead of spent. You corrected your thinking. Again, nothing dramatic at first, but slowly, strength accumulated. Confidence stabilized. Reputation solidified. Opportunities expanded. The difference between these futures is not luck. It is daily governance. Governance of your mind. Governance of your emotions. Governance of your habits. You do not need extreme discipline. You need consistent discipline. Extreme bursts burnout. Steady discipline compounds. Here is the truth most men resist. Life will always contain uncertainty. No amount of preparation removes chaos completely, but preparation determines your response. The goal is not to eliminate hardship. It is to become capable of handling it. Capability reduces fear. When you know you can endure discomfort, discomfort loses its threat. When you know you can regulate emotion, conflict loses its chaos. When you know you can stay aligned with your values, temptation loses its pull. That is freedom, not freedom from difficulty. Freedom from internal collapse. Epictetus taught that external events are not yours to command, but your judgments, choices, and actions are, and that is enough. It is enough to build a powerful life. Now reflect on this carefully. What breaks most men is not tragedy. It is accumulated weakness. Small compromises, Small excuses, small emotional outbursts, small acts of avoidance. These seem harmless individually, but repeated over years, they hollow a man out. On the other side, small acts of discipline seem insignificant. A pause reaction, a controlled word, a disciplined workout, a corrected thought. Individually, they appear minor, but repeated over years, they fortify you. This is how you build yourself so strong that life cannot break you, not by chasing intensity, not by pretending to be invincible, but by reinforcing your foundation daily. When storms come, and they will, you will bend without snapping. You will feel pain without surrendering identity. You will experience loss without losing direction, because you built yourself intentionally. And intentional strength is durable. The world does not need more reactive men. It needs grounded ones. Men who think before acting. Men who endure before quitting. Men who hold standards even when no one is watching. That is Stoic strength. It is not loud. It is not theatrical. It is disciplined, quiet, and consistent. Build your mind so it does not exaggerate suffering. Build your emotions so they do not control behavior. Build your body so it can endure stress. Build your character so it does not bend under pressure. And do it daily, not when convenient, not when inspired. Daily, because life will not announce its tests in advance. It will arrive suddenly, and when it does, you will not rise to the level of your hope. You will fall to the level of your preparation. Prepare well, build yourself steadily, refine constantly, and over time, you will notice something powerful. Life still challenges you, but it no longer intimidates you. Pressure still comes, but it no longer crushes you, because you are no longer fragile. You are forged, and forged men do not break easily.